What's up, everybody? It's Brooklyn Prepper. I'm back. All right. I'm going to be doing a little series, right? And this series is going to be based upon very simple prepping, right? This is not going to have anything to do with doomsday and the end of the world and shooting at your neighbors and burying caches all over the place. It's going to be a series that I'm going to do. I was thinking about it for a long time. Never got around to doing it, but I figure I'm going to start doing it. It's going to be geared towards urban disaster survival, right? In other words, natural disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, power outages, and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of people that live in the urban areas, right? We don't, there's millions and millions of people that don't have sheeps and chickens and big backyards, and a lot of people live in apartments and have limited space, right? Limited resources, right? And it's city living, right? But we all have to realize if it does come down to a disaster, where we want to wind up being, right? If the power went out or things go awry, right? Do you want to be in a school gymnasium sleeping next to a crackhead or somebody, right? Or do you want to be in the comforts of your own home? Even if you live in an apartment or a small house in the city, right? With trial and error, I've been doing this for a long time and everything, and I have wasted a lot of money over the course of 15 years, right? I have discovered some good ideas. I seen what works and what don't work in a city environment, right? I do have a house up in the mountains still, right? And that's being in the mountains and having a bigger house and a garage and everything is a whole different way of prepping. You have the room, you have the resources, you can make gardens, you got a lot to do, right? But what this series is going to focus on, it's going to focus, right, on you guys in the little apartments and the little houses that have limited space. We got families, we got kids, we got soccer gear, hockey sticks, clothes that your wife just don't want to get rid of it because they were baby clothes and she can't part with them. All that stuff in the city where we have limited space and resources. But I'm going to show you in this little series how to combat this little problem. I'm going to show you how to make some space in your house, right? I'm going to show you little tricks that I have learned, right, through trial and error, how to store stuff and keep things out of the way, and how to utilize space that we never even knew we had. We never just took the time out and looked in certain areas of your house and say, well, I could do this and that. But it's going to be a bunch of parts to this series, because know what it is? I'm going to take it slow. I'm going to hold your hand step by step, especially people, if you're preppers already and you know what you're doing, this is really not going to be fun for you guys. But maybe watching me might be fun, right? This series, you're not going to have to pay an admission for it. I'm not making some kind of video DVD that you have to buy, right? There's no cover charge involved with information that I'm going to be giving you. It's just going to be whatever I have learned and what works for me in my city environment. The apartment I have in the city, it's not small, but it's not big. I still struggle with space because, I do have a family and I have a lot of stuff also, right? So with that all said, and anyway, even like I'm talking about cover charges and selling stuff to you guys, it's not going to be here. Matter of fact, if these little series of videos does any good for you, I give you permission to copy them, pass them on to friends, do whatever you want with it. The only thing I want you to do with it, I don't want you selling them. All right, so here's my permission to you guys. You could burn them, make them on disc, give them to friends. I don't care. But this series is going to be just based upon how we could get around all the shortcomings of being prepared in the city. You're not going to have any doom and gloom here and everything else. I'm just going to try to set you guys up just to get through a disaster. A few months worth of food, a couple of weeks worth of food, whatever you decide what's good for you. Like, everybody has their own brain. They all have their own ideas of how long something bad's going to take place, how much stuff they would need, right? But if you look through our history and everything, even major disasters, you know, all that stuff you see on these videos and years and WROL, without rule of law, and you know, zombies coming out and motorcycle gangs riding through the street coming to get you and your family. You know, I've been around in this world for 48 years, and I haven't seen that yet. Even if you study about the Depression and all other bad times, it wasn't mass hysteria, right? It's Hollywood. It's all Hollywood. So when you follow me along on this little journey, especially you guys that just been thinking about prepping, how can I be more prepared? A lot of you probably went through Sandy, maybe you had your power outage for a long time, and you're saying to yourself, well, got to be more prepared. I'm just going to show you little tricks that I have learned, right? And little things that you could buy and you know, that makes your life easier, and how to get on this little road of being prepared. All right, so anyway, you could, with this first video, what I'm going to focus upon is a couple of tools you're going to need to get yourself started, right? And my most important thing is having food for your family, okay? And what route you want to take. There's many different routes. You could take the MRE route, which is disgusting and horrible, right? Some people like them. I just don't like them. It tastes like garbage, right? You could go down the route where you could go to the LSD Cannery. Did I say LSD? Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? No, forget that. The LDS Cannery. Yeah, that's it. All right. And here's a little video of what they have. This is the LDS Cannery starter kits. And what comes in them, right, is these number 10 cans, right? This one is oats, some quick oats, right? It's like oatmeal and stuff like that. But what's great about it, you get a couple of different things in it. And it's, believe it or not, these boxes come with 6 of these number 10 cans, right? I wasn't too big on the LSD Cannery stuff and everything. It's good stuff, don't get me wrong, but I make a lot of my own stuff. See, you could buy those little box sets, but know what it is, those little box sets, they take up a lot of room and everything. So what I'm going to show you is what I came across, and what, to save space and everything else and things I made, what I got into is making my own little packs. See, this is oatmeal. It has sugar in there and dehydrated milk, everything in one little pack for breakfast, right? Nice and compact. You could make a bunch of these. And here's little lentils and dehydrated vegetables and rice, right? With some chicken broth in there also, right? And on top of that, I'm going to show you guys, these are little power drinks, you know. So in between eating this stuff and everything, for more nutrition, you could keep yourself really gassed up with these little power drinks that you just mix with water, and you could drink them now, right? So I'm excited about doing this little series for you guys, but like I said, it's going to be nice and slow, and I'm just going to show you basic things and how to make room into your house for some water storage, food storage, and everything else. Okay, guys? So let me show you some of the basic tools you're going to need to get started. Like everything else, it takes a little bit of money to get started. But these tools I'm showing you is not things you're going to just use, right, and make your prep food, right, and that's it, right? These things you're going to use because they're going to help you save your money, right? It's just logical, right? So let me show you the basic startup stuff you're going to need, okay? So let's go. Okay, guys, this is what you got right here. You got, I got a dehydrator, I got a slicer, and a vacuum sealer right over here, okay? It's not much. This is all you're going to need to start making your own super duper survival food. Right? It's 3 simple little items to get you started. And obviously you're going to need the vacuum bags that go with the vacuum sealer. All right, so let's start off with number 1, the vacuum sealer. Okay, this is a food saver, right? It's got the manual lift arm. I like the manual lift arm because the less moving parts, the better, right? So this is the food saver model number V3250, all right? I've been using this thing for a couple of years now, and I tell you one thing, I love it, and it does a great job, right? I've seen them on eBay, anywhere from $109, not eBay, I think it was, yeah, eBay. Yeah, it was eBay. From $109 to $154. I think at the time I might have spent about $129, something like that. You can find them for cheap. And you know, you got the little compartment up here, you slice your bags, whatever, how much you need, right? The thing works great. It's simple. There's no fancy schmancy moving parts and everything like that. You know, you lift the arm up, you put the bag in, you close it, and you seal it, right? This thing is not going to only come in handy John, to making survival food and preparing for a disaster. I use this thing all the time. Like, for instance, like when we have big dinner parties and over the holidays, and I might order too many chicken rollatinis like I usually do. What I'll do is I'll vacuum seal them, and I'll put them in the freezer. And they're good in there for a long time. They don't get freezer burn. So you're saving money right there. You're not throwing stuff out. You ever put a steak in the refrigerator, it's not vacuum sealed, and you pull it out a few months later, it's all freezer burned and everything like that. You got to throw it in the garbage. That's not prepping. You want to save money, right? And you want to be able to eat everything you buy. So what this thing does, it saves me a ton of money with leftovers. And I'll vacuum seal stuff, put it in the refrigerator. Even I'll get a seal on some good, I like a lot of organic stuff. I only eat organic food. I stay away from the poison. But then I get my free-range meat and all that stuff, and I'll make hamburger patties out of them, and then I'll vacuum seal them and put them in the freezer. And they stay for a really long time. I think I ate a chicken rollatini that was like 1.5 years one time. And I think this still was delicious. But that's it. It's the food saver. Like I said, you can find them for about $109 to $154, right? Try to stay away from the ones with too many mechanical parts. You want to try to stay as basic as you can. It does a great job. Has the little air port. But I'm going to get into the whole vacuum sealing thing, right? How to use it, how I use it, and all the little meals we make, right? There's so many different meals you can make, anywhere from preparing bread to, you know, breakfast, oatmeal, powdered milk, you know, making little snack packs and everything else. Okay, so that's it. It's the Food Saver, model number 3250. This is the one you want to look for, right? It did me good. I'm not telling you what to buy, but I like that one. Now we're going to move on to the slicer, right? And this thing is cheap. I think this was like 19 bucks, something like that, or $20, right? But this thing is great because what you're going to do with this, you can make your own trail mixes. You could slice apples up. You could slice bananas up, right? You find apples on sale. You find bananas on sale, right? And you slice them up real thin, and you're going to be putting them in your dehydrator, and you're going to make your own apple chips and your banana chips. You could slice vegetables when you dehydrate in vegetables like celery and everything. This cheap little item is going to save you a hell of a lot of time than just cutting things up to get them ready for the dehydrator, because you want to cut things thin once you dehydrate them. It takes less time to dehydrate. But I just made an apple banana, and I put some raisins and almond trail mix with this thing, and it was awesome. I put it in the kids' lunchbox, and that's another thing. You're going to save a lot of money instead of buying these little snacks for your kids in lunchbox to put in their lunchboxes. You're going to make your own. You know, you do about 5-6 apples and 3 bananas, and you dehydrate them, and it tastes delicious, and you're getting good stuff. If you like eating organic stuff, I buy organic apples and everything, especially, like I said, when I find them on sale, that's where I'm saving money, because I'll buy a bunch of them. All right, I'm not going to eat them all at once. Like, say, if I buy a bunch of apples that were organic apples on sale that are about to turn a little bit, I'll get them home, I'll slice them all up, I get them real cheap, and I'll make a ton of apple chips, and then I'll vacuum seal the apple chips, right? And they last forever. I mean, years, you know? So you're never wasting, and you want to really consider this. You want to, if you're going to have any kind of survival food, the survival food you want to be eaten is the survival food that you're used to eating. Like if you like lentils, if you like certain types of food, if you're just going to go out there and buy a bunch of these MREs, right, surplus army food, right, and you think a week's going to go by and you're eating this really salted and gross stuff, your stomach is going to start flip-flopping on you. You want to maintain what you usually eat, because after you make a bunch of stuff and a few years go by, you're going to start eating that stuff and replenishing it with some new stuff. And I'm going to talk about rotation also. You know, like I said, that I made that little meal, that the rice and lentils and fresh vegetables. I packaged that in 2011. It's a few years old already, and I'll show you. I'll be eating some. All right, so there's your little slicer. You can find these. I got this in Kohl's, I believe, and it was really cheap. Okay. Okay, now we're going to move on to this baby. This is the Excalibur food dehydrator, which I love this machine. And if you know, if I was going to praise something, if I had to pick a dehydrator, it is always the Excalibur, right? I'm not trying to push it or anything, but I think this is the best dehydrator you can get, right? You know, they might be a little pricey. Let's see, this is the 9-tray one. Did I really need the 9-tray one? Not really, but, you know, sometimes, for me anyway, because I do a lot of dehydrating, but this is a 9-tray one, and you could pick up the 9-tray one for about $190 on eBay. I've seen them for, but you don't have to go 9-tray, especially if you're in a small apartment and everything, right? You want to try to get everything as small as you can. They also come in a 5-tray for about $169, and they also come in they just started making a 4-tray one for $129. So if you're just looking to start out and everything, a 4-tray one is great. You know, you could do a bunch of stuff on a 4-tray one, and plus it's more compact and you could store it away a lot easier, right? But with this machine alone, you could do tons of stuff with it. You could go shopping, like I said, I eat organic vegetables. There was a big sale one time on frozen organic vegetables, like mixed vegetables. I mean, I went crazy. I bought 100 packs of these frozen vegetables. The people are looking at me like I was crazy, but I knew I wasn't going to just throw them in the freezer. What I did, I came home, and if you look through some of my other videos, I show you dehydrating them. But in this series, I'm going to really just go step by step with you guys and take it real slow. Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy prepping. It's a fun thing to do, right? It's not doom and gloom. It's just, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like a Superman once you start getting going with it. But the 4-tray is good. But everything, like even if you come across, let's say, celery is on sale at your local supermarket, and you buy a bunch of it, you know, you're going to use a lot of it, but what you're going to do, you're going to slice the celery up, you're going to dehydrate the celery, right? And then every once in a while, when you're making a soup or something, you're going to throw a bunch of those dehydrated celery in your soup, and believe me, soon, when you dehydrate something, and then when you reconstitute it, right, with water, it comes back to the same nutritional value. Dehydrating things, you do not lose any nutritional value. Once you add water and it plumps up again, it has the same nutritional value as of the day you bought it. And it basically tastes the same like the day you bought it. Right? So we're going to go in depth with dehydrating on all the different things. And I'm going to steer you towards the simple things to dehydrate. I'm not going to go complicated on you. We're just going to get this job done. Before you know it, you're going to be having at least a month or two of survival food in no time, right? So these are your tools. You got your dehydrator. This is the Excalibur. Like I said, you could buy it in 9-tray, 5-tray, or 4-tray, right? And if you're just first starting out and you're just going to want to make some good stuff around the house, a 4-tray is more than enough. And that goes for about $129, right? So if you really even look at it all together, you get the vacuum sealer. If you get the vacuum sealer for 120, right, and you get this thing for 129 and another $20, it's peanuts to really start. And like I said, you don't even have to scrounge up the money. You just have to do a couple of things in life a little differently. Maybe make your own coffee before you go to work instead of going to stupid Starbucks and spending $7 on a stupid coffee, right? We'll get into the coffee roasting and all that stuff in upcoming videos, right? Because that's another way you're going to save money. You got to understand, prepping is just not about doomsday and and preparing for disasters. It's a great way to save money, right? You know, maybe have a bank account, you know what I'm saying? Especially in these days and times, everything is so much money, right? And if we could save a little here and there, maybe we could take those little pennies and do something great with our families so we can have more family time, because that's what it's all about is your family. So if you're going to get into prepping just for survival, you're going down the wrong road. Get into prepping just to feel more self-reliant, right? Not just to feel like a survivalist, and to save money so you could do some cool stuff with your family. All right, so this is my first part of this series. The next part is going to be about packaging up food, how to package it up, some ideas of what food to package up, which has some good nutritional value, and little tips and secrets I have learned, failures that I have came across and everything. So by watching this series, you're going to be able to save a lot of money. I'm going to take the guesswork out of it. All right, so guys, if you can, run out and get your tools. This is all you're going to need to get started. Okay, guys, those are the tools. You know, it's not going to run you all that much, you know, if you really think about it. You know, get rid of some of the sports channels on your cable TV for a few months, and it will pay for itself, right? A lot of people, they had billions of channels and all these package deals with cable and internet. Drop them for a few months, save the money, and buy the stuff, all right? It's just basic stuff you're going to need. Like I said, it's going to save you money because you're going to be able to package leftovers with your vacuum sealer and freeze them, right? And why throw them away, right? You could find sales on frozen vegetables and all kinds of different things, and even just vegetables in the fresh vegetable section. Dehydrate them, right? Vacuum seal them, store them away, and they're always good. Let me just show you. See that one little pack I showed you? See this one? Look, see how small it is? I cooked one up for you. That's what you get out of it. It's a big meal, right? And I tell you, it tastes really good. Because you gotta remember, I got organic vegetables in there. I got lentils, I got rice, and some chicken bouillon. And believe it or not, I don't have this one marked. I packaged this meal up in 2011. And it still tastes as fresh, and the vegetables all come back to life after you rehydrate them. I can't stop eating it. Anyway, it's really good, I'm telling you. Right? Like I said, if you're making stuff that you're used to eating, right, your stomach will thank you for it, believe me, especially if you're going to be eating quite a bit of it. Right? So, I'm just going to end this little series right now, right, so I can finish that bowl of rice. Right, but I'm going to end the series right now. But what's going to upcoming in this series, my next step is going to be, I'm going to show you how to make these. I'm going to show you what I buy, right? You know, how to package your little meals. This is lentils, vegetables, and rice. But I got other ideas for other things so we can mix it up, right? But rice and beans and everything, that's all your staples. You don't need meat. Like you don't need to. You know, if you don't want to get into the whole canning thing and preserving meat, you don't need meat to survive, right? Beans have enough protein within themselves, right? But anyway, I'm going to take it slow. And now my next step is I'm going to show you guys how to make these little packages and all the little ideas I have. I'm going to show you what kind of bins to buy, where you can conserve on space, where you could put these in there and just slide them away. And I got a bunch of stuff, right? So just keep your eyes open for the series. This is the first one. I'm going to start working on the other one. Real soon it's going to come out, maybe next week. The next one's coming out. But it's as simple as that. Get the tools first, right? And let's go on this little journey together. And before you know it, you be prepped. You be waiting for a storm to happen. Hey guys, live for today, prep for tomorrow. And I'll see you next time. I'm going to eat more.